Oh my goodness. Season 3, y'all. Season 3. Okay, wait. First of all, welcome to Off the Clock. This is the show when we're talking about entrepreneur life outside of business hours. And sometimes, we wine your business. Cheers. And we talk about some entrepreneur stuff. This today is special, not just because of our guest, but because of the relationship that our guest and I have built, and because this guest and I have known each other for the duration of how long this business has existed. So it's like a whole happy 10-year anniversary for a business and for our friendship, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Look at that. Meet Gaby, everyone.
Thank you. What a lovely introduction, Gaby with 1B. Dwayne, thank you. It's been an honor. 10 years, girl. How awesome is that?
It's amazing.
Oh,
let's.
Is one of us frozen?
Well, it was probably me. Everyone, my internet's been giving issues. I'm not going to talk about the company because I've already talked about them really badly on a lot of other channels. Cheers. I'm drinking wine. Cheers. I'm drinking for the both of us. Oh, look at that. Wine and water.
Mine's a special water.
Special
people
water.
May wonder why I'm in a different kind of attire and environment than normal.
Talk about it because first, water and wine. We're not going to say who turned water into wine, but cheers to that person. Thank you. I shouldn't make you laugh too hard. So everyone, meet Gaby. Gaby, tell everyone about you and why are we just lounging and relaxing today?
Yeah, well, usually when I speak to you, I lounge and relax anyway, but usually not with crutches, a walker, pillows, the whole bit. So today's a little different because I have a broken leg. And I'm in my recovery for a few more weeks, immobilized on my bed. So welcome to my bed office.
It's a new life.
It's a new life.
Yeah.
I've learned to receive.
You know what? That's really good because sometimes I just had this conversation. I was recording a podcast and, we talk about not having a testimony unless you've been tested. So it's, in this position that you're in, literally and figuratively, it's going to force you to learn some things about yourself and force you to do so many things that you probably wouldn't have thought of doing, like really accepting all the help that's being given to you. So
totally.
And also, it might be a good time for you to relax.
Yeah, well, I don't really have much of a choice because I'm immobilized. Like it's a difficult thing to do much, but I've got lots of support and I've got lots of equipment and great friends like you that are that are keeping it raw with me and your voice notes. And so that's what we do. But I wanted to celebrate you and your business because it's been 10 years and let's be honest, not all businesses make it to this massive milestone, right? So I want to ask you some questions. Can I do that?
Go ahead while I eat my goldfish crackers and sip on my wine.
I love it. Like when you look back, Dwayne, at the last 10 years, what would you say have been like some of your highlights or even one that just stands out in your mind? I know you have many.
Well, meeting you was definitely a highlight.
Thank you.
I can say that because you know what? When you're in business, you can encounter so many people. And I say this with all honesty. I mean, everything I say pretty much with all honesty. You meet a circle that you just stick with. And there are a few people in that circle that's been there pretty much since day one or close to it that I know I can bounce ideas off of, and they will tell me if it's good and they will tell me if it's bad.
Yep.
And you need those kinds of people when you're in business. It's kind of like you're my board.
Yeah.
Right? So
we have that for each other.
You can do the emotional stuff, but you're also going to be raw when it comes to the business stuff. And I don't have to second guess any advice that I'm given from that circle. So I mean, honestly, that's a highlight. It's a highlight because it's helped me push through.
That is awesome. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. That's one of my highlights as well. And that's important for anybody listening is when you are an entrepreneur, you do need that circle that you can bounce ideas off of, or hey, how do I do this? Do you have an experience with this? Do you know anybody that does this? I mean, it's all about networking and who you know. And that's really important. So we've found that in this organization. Gosh, I've met amazing, amazing people within this circle of yours that you've created. I'm very grateful for you and Canadian Small Business Women. I think it's fantastic.
Thanks. And
Yeah.
Gabby really did help push me to start this business because I remember when I first
Are you
met
going
Gabby.
to share how we met?
Oh my gosh. Okay. People. Let me tell you first a little bit about me. I was raised between Jamaica and New York. So I spent I left Jamaica when I was about 10, 11, and I was in New York until I was about 18, and then I moved to Canada. So imagine me moving here with that New York mentality. I trust no one. So I went to this really cool event, Karasaga, where it's a festival of cultures, and I like that kind of thing. It's a really cool way of learning about different cultures through foods and music and all the wares of the culture.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was looking around, and there was a particular vendor that was selling like herbs that like potted herbs that you can grow in your condo. If you're in a small space, it's perfect.
Yeah.
I didn't end up buying anything, but afterwards I was flipping through the book that you get from the event. And I was like, I need to find the person who does the herbs. And the number I called ended up being Gabby's. And she's like, yes, I'm the person. I can get this to you. And then I realized she lived like 5 minutes from where I was living.
Yeah.
Now, again, I don't typically do this, but I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, this is Canada. What would Canadians do?
Yeah.
I said, okay, I can come pick it up. I'm like standing outside and we're just talking, naturally talking.
Yeah.
And all I'm thinking is, I am not coming in your house. You could be the killer. I don't need this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we just talked and
Hit it off.
It just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here we are.
Look at us 10 years later.
Yeah. Gosh. And I even recently closed that business. I had it for many, many years, just as a residual side income, side business. And you were my raw friend that said, Gabby, you're doing too much, girl.
Yep.
Like too much. And it's true.
Girl, you're doing too much. No, too much.
It was never intended to be this full-time, permanent, big organization. It's just something on the side. But I realized I was doing too much. But, Dwaynia was giving me those gentle nudges, and then they became a little louder, those nudges.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm very grateful for that because it's too much. I mean, look at me now, life can change in a day. Really, it can. And I know I'll heal and I know that, I'll be fine. But the reality is life can change. And so you really want to make sure that what you are working on, you have the capacity to work on with and really try not to do more than that. So I've come a long way in my managing activities profession.
Yes. And Gabby, what do you do now? Tell everyone what you do now, because they need to have some context about who you really are. And
yeah.
Of many.
My permanent kind of full-time role of what I do daily is I'm a chief operations officer for HinaCon worldwide. So Hina is a peak performance mindset coach globally, and Hina really helps people make their annual income their monthly income. So I do support that organization. That's my role. We also have many programs within the organization, private coaching, group coaching, speaking program, that kind of thing. I host the speaking program there. It's amazing. And then outside of that, I'm still a keynote speaker. So I do a lot of workshops, and I really have taken a niche to accessibility and diversity and inclusion and acceptance, kindness. That's kind of where my niche has been. I work a lot with newcomer women, people coming into the country and helping them navigate into the Canadian job market. So that's kind of what I do, on the side, outside of normal business hours. Those are my main things. And of course, I'm a mom, and I do a lot less than I used to, but I do volunteer work. That's, as long as I have a pulse, I need to always give my time. That's a very important thing for me. So I am an ambassador with the MS Society of Canada. I help to lobby changes. I support people that are newly diagnosed. I support their fundraising events. So I love what I do, everything.
And she doesn't have a lot of spare time out of this. You see the list, right?
Did we schedule our coffee for like next year yet? No, I'm kidding.
Right. That is sometimes part of our conversations. Like, okay, look through your calendar. When are
Yeah.
we fitting each other in?
Months in advance.
Yes, yes. You stick to those dates. You stick to those dates.
Yeah.
And it's funny. You have your name listed, Gaby, with 1B, and
Yeah.
I was sitting in a car with a mutual friend of ours, Ritu, and I was
Yes.
ready to call you, and she's like, "Why do you have Gabby's name in your phone with 2 B's?" I said, "When I met Gaby, I put her name in as 2 B's, and I somehow will never change it. But in my head, I always know it's Gaby with 1 B, but
Oh,
I
that's hilarious.
have it in my phone. It's like, I know that's my Gaby. I just know. It's okay."
That is hilarious. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Ritu.
Yeah. I'm like, I know
That's
it's
funny.
Gaby with 1 B. Don't worry
Oh, I
about
didn't
it.
know that. That's funny. That's actually really funny.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Oh my
actually very
gosh.
funny.
Everyone, if you're just joining us, we are at season 3, episode 1, Entrepreneur Life, Off the Clock, with our special lovely guest, Gaby with 1B Mammone. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you share it with your friends. And, drop a comment and let us know how you're feeling today, because we're about to drop a nice little announcement soon, but we're going to talk first. So if you have any questions for us, drop that in the comments too. All right. Ooh, it just got super windy outside. It's okay.
I know, actually, it is. It stopped raining, though.
Yes, it did. So we're doing a little back and forth. Gabby's asking me questions. I'm asking her questions because, we're also celebrating. And yeah, Gabby, you have any questions for me?
Yeah, I'm sure. Like, I'm just thinking, okay, people that are listening, what do they want to know about Joadia? What has happened in the last 10 years? So let's keep it raw. People have struggles, people have challenges. So what would you say kind of sticks out as a lesson for you that you've learned in the last 10 years? Something that you went through?
You know what? You have to be thick-skinned. So
yeah,
you can't really enter business being emotional about business. You can be emotional about other things, but you have to be able to accept all the criticism, and you have to also be able to accept the disrespect. And believe me, I've gone to many events where, I'll have men be like, "Oh, good for you." And I always have a good response for them because I think it's rude. Or I'll have people come up to me, men come up to me and say, "Well, your business would do so much better if you only didn't market to women." You're not my market. Go away.
Yeah.
Like, why do you feel the need to come and tell me what I should do?
Oh,
With my
that's so
business?
interesting. Yeah.
Oh, I've had the most, or I've had people look at me and it's like, "Oh, so you started this business? It's not a franchise that was started by someone else?" No, go away. Like, don't be rude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a lot, and it's tough being a woman in the industry. It's even tougher being a Black woman in the industry, because now I'm going, "Are you talking to me because I'm a woman, just like that, or are you talking to me like that because I'm a Black woman? Which one is it?" Because now I have to figure out how I'm going to answer you.
Wow. I am sorry that I can't believe that actually happens and has happened, but it obviously happens. So what
It
do you do? How do you overcome that?
Well, I come from a very proud island of Jamaica, and you can't tell us nothing.
Yeah.
We are very proud people. We
I love
know
it.
ourselves. So
I
there's
love it.
nothing anyone can tell me about me
Yeah.
that I don't know.
Yeah.
And I know the amount of work and the amount of effort I put into what I'm doing. And I know who I do it for. And I know those people appreciate it. And
Yeah.
I have confidence in everything that I do. So no matter what anyone says, it will never dim my light. And I let them know it will never dim my light. I'm also very polite, but I can politely tell you that you will never dim my light.
Yeah.
So
You have an
definitely
eloquent way of wording it.
Oh, now that is so nice. I will look at a 6'5" man who just did that to me and go, "Oh, did you do that for your you know what? Good for you for doing that for your business too." And make him feel like a 3-year-old and walk away.
Hilarious. Wow, good for you. You know what? It doesn't surprise me. As long as I've known you, you've had this eloquent way of being thick-skinned, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with having people inside your circle and outside of your circle. There's nothing wrong with cleansing, including people. That's okay. That's just okay. Not everybody's going to agree. And the more followers you get, the more successful you get. For anybody listening, you're going to get haters. You're going to get people that troll you. You're going to get, people that copy your Instagram handle and pretend they're you and copy all these pictures.
Oh my God. Are you speaking from experience, Gabby?
Oh, I am. Oh, yes. 3 times. So if you all search for my IG, it's my first name and last name only. If there's a 1, 2, or 3 after it, that ain't me. But it's all my pictures. I've reported and all this stuff. But that's going to happen. That's going to happen.
And you know what? In the words of Cardi B, you got to thank your haters because they still watch you. They're still giving you a view. They're still giving you a like. They'll still watch you. Thank them.
Yeah, no, I hear you. So that's cool. Has there been anything in the last 10 years that kind of brought you to your knees or like made you cry or just really got you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. There are a couple of things. I still remember clearly 2 events in particular. One that made me cry and one that made me go hide in a corner, like high anxiety, shaking and practically crying. And I vowed that I will never, ever let that happen to me again.
Wow.
So there's a lot of anxiety when you're doing in-person events because there's so much riding on it. You have your sponsors, you have your speakers, you have your vendors, and you want to make sure it's a good experience for them. And you also want to make sure it's a good experience for your attendees.
Right.
And I remember I had an event in Niagara and I had an event in Ottawa. And I had, like, when I say I can count on one hand the amount of attendees I had, it was hard for me to show my face in the room. I mean, when
the sound has gone, Duenia. Don't hear ya. Is it just me? I don't know. I cannot hear you. Is it me? Nope. I don't hear. Well, to the listeners out there, if Duania is going to be right back or she's going to do a dance or reset something. So, I'm here. I'm here while she's troubleshooting. And for those that are just joining, in case you're wondering why I'm like this, it's because I just broke my leg. Well, not just a week ago. First time ever. Did anybody else ever break a limb? If you have, actually, I would love to know some tips. Are you back?
I'm back, I think. Can you hear me?
I can. I can hear you. But if you don't mind, I was just asking the listeners if they can just drop. So sitting in this position, I get like a little bit of a sore tailbone. So does anybody have any suggestions of how I can relieve that? So you can drop them in the comments. Okay, back to you, Duania.
Yeah, please. Yes. Help her out. Yeah. Now, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, I was talking about my 2 crazy moments. And I remember when like my people were looking for me, I was like on the other side of the venue, curled up, shaking, just crying because I just didn't know. I was like, how am I going to fix this? How am I going to make this right for my vendors, my sponsors? It's very stressful.
Yes.
So I've had to really, it's always a challenge for all event planners. You know this as well, to get bums in seats because everyone promises and then do they deliver?
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Do they deliver? And, with the age of every event has to be, Instagrammable or what are you giving away? Like you have to find something that's going to draw people. But then they don't realize that the content is what they should be coming for.
Yeah.
Like example, actually, we have an event coming up on May 7th. Gabby is one of our speakers.
Yes. And I'll be standing by then.
Amazing. Amazing.
Thank
And
you.
I know we will fill seats. I know we will have bums in seats.
Yeah.
I'm not that far ahead where I forgot those two. Those two events are always in my head no matter what.
Yeah.
And that pushes me to try hard for every event, and I don't take it for granted. When tickets are sold out, I don't go, it'll be sold out of the next event too. No, no, no. I'm working just as hard because I do not ever want to feel that way again.
Yeah. That's amazing and good for you. And I don't know if it was that, but I remember you calling me once saying, Gabby, I need to fill seats. Like, what do I do? But I'll tell you something that actually I think made you stronger because it allowed you to really promote the value of the business. Like, and sometimes your events were complimentary even. Do you
Yeah.
recall? Like, I remember those times. But the thing is that your events have tremendous value. The content, sometimes the swag bags, guys. Oh my gosh. Like, Dwaynia works her butt off to get like quality stuff. And when she's choosing the venue, I'm not just saying this, you know this. It's like, not the right venue, doesn't match with my branding, like you have very high expectations about decor, you have very high expectations about silverware and everything, the experience of the person.
Mm.
And that means a lot. Like there's a cost to that. There's a
Yeah.
cost to meeting people. There's a cost to networking. The amount of people that I have met through Canadian small business women that I've done business with is like immeasurable, more than I can count on both hands, because you want to deal with people that you trust. So, those experiences may have happened, but I mean, look where you are now. Look where you
Yeah.
are now.
Yeah. And now it's like it feels so good to make partnerships because people have seen what we've done and they trust in us and they want to find ways to support us, and it feels good. It feels good. I'll have people call me and go, "How did you connect with Vistaprint, for example?" And Vistaprint was a partner of ours from like year
Oh,
one.
yes.
And they're like, "How did you find them?" I'm like, "I didn't even look for them. They called me and I thought it was a prank."
Yeah.
And they had to call me back
Yeah.
because I legit thought I was being pranked.
Wow.
Yeah. So, it's, I don't take anything for granted. I am thankful to all the speakers who have spoken at a lot of events for free. Even our accelerator program, I'm thankful to all the facilitators, everything that we've done. Like, it's, yeah, like I can't say thank you enough. I can't say thank you enough. And that's why also I still try to promote people who have always supported us.
Yeah.
You see me post a lot of things in our Instagram stories, or sometimes you get emails with a lot of things that's going on in our community. Those are people who supported us over the
Yeah.
years. And
Yeah.
anything we do, even if they can't afford the time or the dollars to support us now, but they could 6, 7 years ago, I don't forget that. I'm
Right.
still helping.
Yep. Yeah, I'm so proud of you, how far you've come, what you've done. Really, you've done a lot. You've inspired so many people that you probably never know that you've touched.
Yeah, I mean, I feel really good when I hear some of the success stories from entrepreneurs. Like, I still remember when we used to do the Immigrant Women Small Business Expo back,
Mm.
pre-Pandy era. And I would have people come up to me and, being new immigrants. And, I've always said the reason why I wanted to do those expos is because when you're a new immigrant, a lot of times things are pushing you in the direction of the job market. And they're not saying, hey, you can also be an entrepreneur, and they're not providing you with all those details. They're going,
Yeah.
oh, go and get a job. But
Right.
you
Right.
might come in with business ideas and money
Yeah.
ready to start a business.
Yeah.
And I've had so many people come up to me and they're like, thank you for having something like this,
Yeah.
because it's so hard to find the resources when we want to start a business. And it feels good to hear those thank yous. And it
Yeah.
keeps pushing me because, there are times where I sit there and I'm like, why am I doing this? I am tired. Why do I do this?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and people may not know that you have a full-time permanent job also.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
And I
yeah.
love to volunteer.
Yes, and that you do, and you speak as well. right?
I
Yeah.
know I have 2 gigs I'm speaking at. If you're listening to this, hear me out, people. If
Oh,
you're in
that's amazing.
Halifax, May 2nd, Startup Canada, they're doing a 5-city stop across Canada. Their second stop is May 2nd in Halifax. I will be in one of the Ask the Experts lounges. So
Nice.
there. And if you want tickets, send me a message. I can hook you up. But Halifax, I'll see you there. And then before that, on April 11th, I will be hosting one of the growth series panels at the Restaurants Canada show in Toronto. So
Oh,
I'm very excited about that because you know how I feel about food and beverage, and you know
you
my
are
dream is
really
to host like a food show or be a judge. So I'm already in the room.
hilarious.
So
Hilarious.
yes, please, if you would like, I have some really good discount tickets for the Restaurants Canada show as well. Send me a message. But I do love to talk. I
And the
feel like I
restaurant
should have a
Canada,
B in
that's
my name
good.
with Gabby.
I love it though. I love it. I know who's the gabber now.
Yeah, yeah. But you know,
Oh,
I try to
that's
find time, but I really I can't even express my appreciation enough,
um,
enough to
I'm
everyone.
really so proud of you and the people in your community. Thank you to them for making this happen, and the vendors and the sponsors and the people that post in the Facebook group. And it's all a massive team here, but this is all about growth. Like, going back to the expo, I think I've been to every single expo that you were at. I think I was a vendor at one, I was a panel host at one, I was a speaker at one. And I have very fond memories of all of them. And the people that I've met have been so amazing. In fact, I do get some support sometimes on Reels. And I met her at your expo,
Rose,
Rose
yes.
Nixon. I love my Rose Nixon. And I
Rose
met her
was
at
a
your expo.
volunteer at our very first expo.
Yeah,
She was a
I
volunteer.
met
I
her there.
remember her.
I met
Yes.
her there. I met her there. We kept in touch, just, social media. We kept
Yeah.
in touch. She started her business. I had no desire to make reels. So it's like, she's great at making reels. I'm not. And that you can, in business, yes, they always say as an entrepreneur, you need to know how to do everything. Yes. But you don't need to know how to be an expert at everything.
Yes.
Outsource it to the people that can do it better, faster than you can. And that's Rose for me.
Yeah.
So I, gave her a few projects, and here she is. She puts great reels together. I can just do my stuff, send it to her, and she helps me out whenever I need it. And I love that. And I've actually since referred her some people as well. But I met her
At
through your
that,
event.
at that first expo, there were a lot of people. Like Cam Shuka, I believe, was at that first expo.
Oh, Kim Shuka, I love her too. Look how
Yeah.
successful she's been.
Yes. And she's come to our Ottawa expos as well because we used to do them in Ottawa and in Toronto. And
Yes.
there are a couple of other vendors that I still use from that expo. Yeah.
You see? So I would much rather work with anyone in this community than just someone that I search off of social media randomly or Google randomly, because this is a very trusted, sacred space, right? We want to help each other grow. And
Yeah.
that's it.
Oh,
That's it.
thank you. You know, I know we're celebrating all year, right? And I was really happy. Like okay, if I'm being honest, I totally forgot it was our 10-year anniversary, like in January, right? And then I was like, hold on a second. How did I forget this? When you're just
That's
working
funny.
so hard that you don't remember. Because when my interns and I were, because usually in November, December, we do a good planning session. We review everything for the current year, and then we figure
Right.
out what we're doing the following year. We
Yeah.
didn't have a 10-year anniversary plan in that.
Oh, that's
It was
okay.
like,
They can come after.
we forgot something important.
Oh, that's funny.
But can I make an announcement?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry, everybody. I actually know what the announcement is because I asked Duadia, and it's a really cool announcement. Wait, do I know the announcement?
I think you know the announcement.
Okay. Actually,
I
maybe
think
it's
you
not
do.
what I'm thinking. So you go ahead.
Okay. So we're celebrating all year in different ways,
Yeah.
right? We're going to do something that I will launch within the next couple of days. You will see the posts on social media. And what we're going to do is I'm going to feel like Oprah and we're going to give away, because it's 10 years, 10 of our favorite things to one
Oh,
entrepreneur.
oh, you know what? I didn't know that that was a surprise. I thought you were going to talk more about the May event,
No, no,
about some of
no.
the surprises you have for that. Oh, that's good. You're doing that. Good job.
Yes. So you're going to see the
Oh,
post. You'll see who the 10 favorite things. They're all going to be small businesses across Canada. Just things that I actually use and love. I mean, I can give you one hint already.
yeah. Duania loves her red lipstick, everyone, in case you haven't noticed. I love it.
And this color right here, local to the GTA. She's actually a U Windsor graduate. Go Lancers.
Oh,
um, and she's a Black woman. It is
I love
hand poured.
it. Yeah.
I actually did not go to U Windsor with her. I went to U Windsor with her sister, and then she came to U Windsor right
Oh,
after. So I'm like,
wow.
this is great. So that's one. I'm actually wearing another. Let me see how many things. There's 10 amazing things,
I
businesses
love it.
across Canada, things
I
that I
love it.
actually use and love. I feel it's just only right for me to promote them and have you try them because they're great. I mean, it was hard to narrow it down because there were also some more things that I wanted to include, but I had to consider a lot of things when I was doing this. One
Yeah.
of the biggest considerations was availability, because if you are not able to ship across Canada, then it would be really hard for another person to click on the link and try to buy your item because they want to try it. And there's such cool local things that I wish they would
Right.
ship across Canada that I try. There's
Yeah, for
one that
sure.
is now only in Ottawa and she's not shipping, and it's an item. I'm just going to tell you what it is on here because I love it. So there's
Awesome.
this chef. Can you tell I love food? I'm like leaning in because it's serious.
Yeah, I know.
There's
I
this
want to
chef.
listen.
I love, love, love food. And she sells this seasoning that's just in this little container. It's bacchanal seasoning. And she is in Ottawa, but I think she was in the GTA first. That's why she used to ship the stuff to me. And I used
Okay.
to buy a lot of it because you know what I loved it for? Like, it's good for other things, but let me tell you what I loved it for. I absolutely love an English breakfast. Like, I love beans.
Okay.
And when you put this seasoning on the beans and you're like, you know, when I make my beans, I put it in the pan, I cut up a little bit of onions and some tomatoes and I let
Yeah.
it simmer. And then I put this seasoning on it. It is life changing.
No way.
Life changing to the point where I sent this lady a whole voice note with my testimony of how I love these things with beans.
Oh, that's so nice. And that actually tells me that if there's maybe a vegetable that someone doesn't like, all you have to do is put the seasoning on it and it may spice it up. Like me, as I've been sitting here with my broken leg, I had somebody bring me Brussels sprouts.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love
Brussels
Brussels
sprouts
sprouts.
from the air fryer. Now, I actually don't mind Brussels sprouts. I actually don't mind them when they're in the air fryer. But I hear not everybody likes Brussels sprouts, so maybe that seasoning would be nice on them too.
Yeah, I wish she delivered across Canada because
I
let me
wonder
tell you.
why. Are there
I think,
legal
you
rules
know
about
what?
food and spices, maybe?
Shipping costs are just astronomical, and sometimes
Yes,
it's
I
just not
know.
worth
Yeah.
it. It's just not worth it.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
okay when I go to Ottawa, or actually, I should let my friend
Yeah.
who she travels free.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Dwayne, the sound is out. The sound is out. I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Okay, she's going to be right back. I think she said when she travels to Ottawa, she brings them back. I think that's what she was saying. And that's fantastic. So, man, if I could do like stand up comedy, I would go into that space right about now. But as she was talking about her red lipstick, I'm like, oh, I guess I could have dolled up with her red lipstick for today. But oh, you're back. Awesome. Cool. I was like trying my stand up comedy when you were gone.
Oh, bang bang! Did you get any?
No, I was just saying, like, being in bed, like, I haven't worn any makeup. Let's be honest, right? You're at home. This is the first time my hair's down. Usually it's in a messy bun and that's it, right? Pajamas. But it's like, okay, I'll look somewhat presentable for this podcast. But in hindsight, I should have put your red lipstick on. Not
Oh,
your
it's
red
okay.
lipstick, but a red lipstick.
It's okay.
That's
I
okay.
have the
We're
red.
not, right? No judgment. No judgment.
No judgment here. I mean, so everyone look out for that because I'm going to be announcing it and you want to enter. I'm counting the weeks because if I do this properly, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know if I should open it for 10 weeks, because the 10,
Oh, the number 10.
I feel
Where does
like
that? Yeah.
10 weeks would be great because then you'll get it just in time for when summer's about to pop off and all the items would be great. So, yeah, you know what? 10 weeks. We're
Awesome.
opening. I will let everyone know, but that's happening. We're doing a whole giveaway of 10 of my favorite things. Some are food items, some are beauty items.
Nice.
You'll love them.
Can I just make a note here of something that I just noticed? Successful people always make quick decisions. And Dwayne initially was like, oh, should it be 10 weeks? And within a minute, she's like, yes, I made the decision. It's 10 weeks. I don't know if everybody just witnessed that, but that was really fantastic that you did that because that's what successful people do. Sometimes the anxiety and the stress is not making a decision.
Yes.
Right. You could have sat on this. You could have left me a voice note. Should I do 10 weeks? Should I do it up until the event? Da, 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 da. You could have surveyed a few people, maybe posted it in the Facebook, asked your mom, whatever. But the point here is just make the decision, people. And you just did. Nice job. 10 weeks it is.
You know what it is too? Funny enough. There are a few things. One, I'm a little impatient, so I like to just get direct, do the decision and move on. Yeah. 2, I know the difference between working in a very small business, working in a corporation and running a business. And I see the difference in how decision-making works in those 3 segments where, if you're in a corporation, all the layers before someone makes a simple decision, like changing toilet paper.
Yeah.
And when you're working for a smaller company, there are just a few layers, but you have more impact. And like for me, my day job, I manage a department and most of the decisions that I make, I'm making them. And when I say this is it, this is what we're doing, we're good as long as it doesn't impact other people, right? So for me, also, I like to make a decision and put it out there in the ether and it holds me accountable because if it's out there, somebody can come back and say, Dwayne, you said you were going to do this and I just need to make sure I deliver.
Yeah. I love that. And you know what? Good for you. That's exactly what you need to do. I apologize. You see my eyes looking down. I'm totally paying attention to you. But I have someone asking me for a gift card to order dinner because I ain't able to order dinner. And so someone gave me a gift. I hope you feel better gift of skip the dishes. So I just sent it to my family saying, please order your dinner. Sorry about that. But I agree with you. And I'm happy that you're able to make such quick decisions and don't sit on them because, that's part of the reason I believe why you got to your 10 years. Because sometimes people belabor and sit on things that causes anxiety and stress and unnecessary situations that kind of rise it. Make a decision, then the door's open. Good job.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So what would you say are some of the highlights? Can I ask you about the May event? Can you share stuff about it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So share. It's such a good event. Like I know who the speakers are. They're awesome. I know that you're working on amazing items for your swag bag, but I don't know if people really realize the value of this beautiful meal that you've curated and things like that.
Yeah. So one big thing I do like to have at all my events is food because I don't want people to feel hungry because then when you're hungry, you're not really paying attention and really good food because I'm eating it and I'm not eating anything that's crap. Let's be clear about that part.
Yeah.
So the food will be great and it will be a plated 4-course meal.
Nice.
And we will have some really cool swag. And if you want your swag to be a part of our situation, let me know. We can make it happen. But our speakers, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, so first we're going to have my MP, who is going to be a speaker, and she is fantastic. Richie Valdez. She's also a UWindsor graduate. You see a trend here. Also a UWindsor graduate.
Hilarious.
And I can't wait for her to speak at this event. Can you hear me? I just want to make sure I'm still
Yeah,
good.
I can. I'll do this if I can't.
Okay, perfect. And then we're going to have Gaby, which, I mean, come on. She is so good at storytelling and the inspirational aspect. And she's going to talk to you about selling from the stage. Look, you want to be a keynote speaker, you want to be a great speaker, you want to sell from the stage, you want to really learn how to amplify your voice. Yeah,
Thank
Gaby,
you.
she's going to
Thank
speak
you.
on that. She's
Thank you.
really good.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. If I can even jump in there, some people may not want to be a keynote speaker, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
We are always, no matter what we do, selling ourselves. And I share with you with full transparency and candor that you sell yourself through story.
Yes.
When people can relate through a story, that is what helps you connect, sell, grow, all of these ideas. It's through story, but there's a technique to telling a story. It's not just, I did this and this happened to me and none of that. No, there is a technique, 5 stages to telling a story. So I'm going to go deep in that. I may even deliver a speech and then show people how I use those 5 techniques in my story. And that's really, really important for people to know. It's an essential skill that everybody needs for sales presentations, phone calls, anything you do. Storytelling is key. Sorry.
There. Gaby's going to do
So the
that.
other is, yeah.
And then we're going to have Dareen. And Dareen, she talks about standing out from the crowd. And the thing with Dareen, I still remember how we met. Like, she called me and it was like, no, we need to go to lunch. We need to go to dinner. And I don't say yes to any coffee dates. Like, don't call me for coffee dates.
Yeah.
I need to know why I have to spend my time to meet you in person before I get there. I don't need the surprise when I get there.
Yes.
And she was so like, no, like, and we met and it was like amazing.
Yes.
And she's going to really talk about, because she's a girl from small town France, like a small poor town in France, who made it to the White House, who is doing amazing things. Like, she does amazing things for women in countries in the Caribbean, in countries in Africa. Like, she's amazing. She's going to talk about how to stand out from the crowd.
I love it. That is so important.
Yeah.
She's lovely, actually. I know her. She's great.
She's amazing.
I think I met her at your expo once too, or
probably
maybe a different event, one of the networking events. Yeah, I only met her through your organization. So yeah, cool.
And then we're gonna have Hannah. Hannah is like a burst of energy. Just, you gotta love her. She is an amazing woman from the Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
Wait, did you lose me? No, we're good.
You know what? Okay, for a second we lost you. You're back in audio. The video is a little fuzzy, but we can see you.
Okay. So she actually has a very successful podcast, and she's going to talk about how she amplifies other women's voices.
Nice.
And why she chose to do that, and how she used it also to amplify her voice. So
nice.
If you're looking to get into podcasting, she can help you with that.
Amazing.
So let's see. I spoke about, okay, then there's Nkechi.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me tell you something. When you hear Nkechi speak, you feel like you have the power to move mountains.
Oh, yeah. She's deep. She's so good.
Like, I feel like, and I've heard her speak multiple times because we have worked on a few events where she's spoken. Yeah. And I can tell you, at the end of it, I feel like I'm a lion and I can take on the world. Like, you can't tell me anything that I can't do.
Do you know that she has a speech that went viral called You Matter?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. And she's actually going to talk about the power of the tongue.
Nice.
And it is really good because it's not just about what you tell other people. It's also about what you tell yourself.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
And that is so important.
Yeah.
And then I left myself out. There's me.
A superstar on its own.
I am actually going to host a panel of authors. I haven't released who's going to be on the panel yet.
Oh, good.
But, that's a part of telling a story. And they're going to talk about why they felt like they needed to do this, and the power of sitting down, and it's not just pen to paper, but
For
keys,
sure.
keyboard, computer, however you put it, to put it in writing to tell a story.
Yeah.
That's happening. And we're going to have a lot of other people in the audience that you're going to want to connect with. We're putting together a government table. So we're pulling a lot of government resources so that you can talk to them and meet them as well. And we're reaching out to some other heavy hitters to make sure that they're there in the room. You want to be there in the
Yeah,
room.
totally.
Like when Hamilton, I don't know if everyone's seen Hamilton, like I've seen it, Toronto production, but I've also watched it probably like 20 times. But there's a song, in the room when it happens, the room when it happens, the room when it happens. You want to be in the room. Yeah. Yeah. You want to be in the room when it happens.
That's so
Yeah.
cool. That is amazing. I
I'm
love it.
really excited. And there are going to be some offers that are going to be made to the people in the room that's not going to leave the room. I can tell you that right now. There's some exclusive offers that are going to happen in that room just for the folks in that room.
Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And it's from what time to what time?
We are going to start at 11. Come at 11 because we're going to have a really cool, like a mocktail tower.
That's cool.
It's gonna have a little signature drink, and everyone can cheers and all that. And we should wrap up by 4:30, 5 o'clock. On a Sunday, that's really good. You'll get fed,
Oh,
you'll be empowered, you'll feel really good. Then you go home and you plan for your week.
I love it. I love it. And can I just say that I have been to this venue before? It's accessible, it's lovely, the food is amazing. So it's
Free
really
parking, lots
free
of
parking,
parking.
close off of the highway, both highways. It's kind of in between the 403 and the 401. So it's really fantastic. I'm really excited to be there.
And it's kind of like our homecoming because we always have events in Mississauga. And I've
Yeah.
been using that venue for a while.
Yes.
So it's a homecoming, and there are going to be some really cool photo ops, Instagrammable moments, because I know you look for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And we're
Yes.
still working on some other things. I have a lot of people reaching out to me like, hey, like, what do you think about this? What do you think about
Yeah.
this?
Yeah. 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 Oh my gosh. I love it. I so love it. That's awesome. Man, we've gone through a lot in the last 10 years, Dwayne. I'm so happy for you with how far you've come and the people that are listening and the people that have come to the events. It's been so heartwarming. I remember the last event that you went to or that we hosted. The name has escaped me, but it was like that small, intimate group brunch.
Oh, the strategy brunch.
Yeah, the strategy brunch. That was a great event, and same thing. I made some great people from there, and it was amazing.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
know what? That was me trying to tiptoe back out into the in-person thing. We are probably going to have two more of those this summer.
yeah.
Um,
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, we're thinking about it. You'll find out at the May event if it's actually happening. It's only going to be about 12 people. It's
Yeah,
small, and we're
yeah,
going to be able to sit for those 4 hours, eat and strategize.
yeah. That's
Right.
good. That's
So
good.
at the May event, I will probably make the announcement there, and first come, first serve, right?
Yeah, I'm happy for you. Those strategy brunches are so essential. Same thing, man. I mean, my notebook was filled with copious notes. It's great. I'm so proud of you and the organization that you've created and the people that we've met and the businesses that have grown. Honestly, like, well done. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And it's not without the support of everyone. And I can't say thank you enough to everyone for all of the support. It it means a lot. It really
Mm,
does. And I still remember the last in-person conference that I had, August of 2019. And if you haven't heard the story, this is how it went. I was going to cancel that event
mm,
because that event was held, I believe it was August 20th, either 19th or the 20th. And I had a lumpectomy on, I think it was August 6th or something like that. And I spoke to my event planner, and she's like, everything is already in order.
Yeah.
You just need to show up. We're not going to make you do any work. Show up. And it was hard because I was diagnosed with breast cancer like right in the beginning of August, the end of July. That event was already planned. And I went on vacation, came back, had surgery, and I was in that room, and I think maybe 4 or 5 people in that room knew about my diagnosis. And it was very deliberate because my friend here, Gabby, was like, you don't want to make an announcement without a call to action because everyone's going to start bombarding you. And I appreciated that advice. Whew. So the only people who knew were my event planner, and you knew, obviously. And I think Ritu knew. Yeah, another friend of ours knew.
Yeah.
And I ended up telling my keynote, because my keynote at that event was Jam Gamble. And I remember talking to her about it. And because I had to like do whatever I had to do on stage and then go sit down because I was so tired, right?
Yeah.
And like I was running away from everyone. And I remember sitting at one table, and I remember it was Sasha Pinto at that table. There were a few people at that table, and we were eating. And they were like, how is everything going? Blah, blah, blah. And I am not really good at hiding my feelings and all that. So I ended up just telling them at the table.
Yeah. It's fine. Yeah.
Like, and this is why I'm just like sitting here eating, and we're just going to carry on.
Yeah.
And it was tough. It was tough because, I had to get through that event and not really make any type of announcement and have the strength to get through that event, not lift anything, not do anything, and finally made it home. And that was the year I had to cancel our expo, because that was the event that needed to get canceled because there was no way I was going to be able to do it because I had to start in October.
I remember now. Yeah.
And that was the tough decision. I remember crying on the phone to our event planner, Carlina, shout out to you. You're amazing. And, she's like, you need to make this decision because I don't think you're going to be able to have the energy to do this.
Yes.
And she was right.
Yeah.
I had to start making those phone calls and canceling things. But that was our last in-person event. So it feels really good all these years later to be able to get to our next in-person event. And to tell you the truth, my anniversary of finishing all of my treatment, like chemo and radiation, was on Easter weekend. I always say, I'm like Jesus, I rose again. It was on Easter weekend. So the event is a month after that. So just, I am going to be excited to be around people and just to get back to my new normal.
Oh, I'm so happy. Before we wrap up, can I share a really, really funny story of something that you and I went through? I don't even know if you remember. Let's see if I can jog your memory.
Okay.
Like, I'm talking right near the beginning of our relationship when you still had your cupcake business.
Okay.
Way back when. Okay. If anybody doesn't know, Duania is an amazing, amazing cook. And she makes fantastic desserts and cupcakes and pies. So she had a cupcake and pie business back then. Duana, can you hear me? Because your video is a bit foggy, but you can hear me. Okay, perfect. Okay. So I was volunteering at the MS Walk and asked Duana if she would be our sponsor. And the request was cupcakes for our volunteers. So Duania did. Oh my gosh. Duania brought cupcakes for everybody, not just our volunteers. I think all the walkers, all the attendees, right? All the registrants.
500 mini cupcakes.
Oh my God. 500 cupcakes. So first, let's just look at that. Like, who here makes 500 cupcakes? Like, just Duania. Okay, fine. So what a great sponsor, right? So, but I was so busy because I was chairing that event. I was running everywhere. I was really kind of running the show there that year. And the event is done. And people are going home. And I'm like, okay, now I get to have Duanea's cupcakes. But of course, they're all out by then, except I went from picnic table to picnic table just to make sure people didn't leave a purse or anything like that. And I was thrilled to see there was a Tupperware of cupcakes there. And I was like, oh my gosh, I got lucky. I got lucky that I get to take Duanea's cupcakes home. Now, the thing about Duania, do you remember the story now? Yeah, because it gave me some trauma, let me tell you. So what happened was I was so excited that I finally got to try one of your cupcakes. So the thing that you need to know about Duania is when she does something, she does it with quality and high class. There's no shortcuts. She wants the best. And that is evident in her baking as well. It's not just a cupcake. It's a cupcake with beautiful icing and the sprinkles, and it's so perfectly swirled, like it's high class. But the ones in this Tupperware weren't of Duania's standards. Okay. They were flat. The inside was concaved in. Some had icing, some didn't. Some had like fingerprints in them. And I was like, this is not my Duania. But out of respect, I'm going to eat one because I've waited all day and she cooked so hard. So I'm eating her cupcake. So I ate one and I wanted to like it. Guys, I wanted to like it. But I didn't. It was really something else. And so, but I loved Duania, and she just made 500 cupcakes for the MS walk. So I called her and I said, hey, Duania, I found the Tupperware with some leftover cupcakes. Now, do you remember how we established that they weren't yours?
I'm
How did
trying
that
to remember
unravel?
how, because all I was thinking in my head is, first of all, I'm just not eating any random thing. I am really scornful. I need to know where those came from.
Oh my gosh. So somehow I may get the details wrong because it was so long ago, but we were having this conversation and we established that phone call. She's like, Gaby, those aren't my cupcakes. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, oh, I just ate a stranger's cupcake. And I was like, that makes sense because this is not your standard of cupcakes at all. But I did it out of love for you. But oh man, so there's a lesson there. There's a few lessons there.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, next time I scoff one of your cupcakes before.
Yeah, like don't eat random cupcakes. And you know what? The MS Walk actually volunteering and making those cupcakes was very, really, very good because I did get a lot of orders from those cupcakes. And I think I came back the year after with cupcakes.
Oh, you did. You did. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And I love a good walk. People, like I will sign up for all the walks because I love
and she does. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love that. Did I tell you there's another one at the end of May? Last Sunday in May. Last Sunday in May.
Yeah, I'm good for it.
Yeah, cool. Okay, good. I'll be emceeing that walk.
Yeah, I'm good for it. You know that.
Thank you. I'll let you know the dates. If anybody wants to come to the MS walk in Peel, Mississauga, let me know.
Oh, it's a good time too because there's a whole lot of snacks and food. Like the pizza is sponsored. Yes. You get a lot of good fruit, everything like that. So you want to be at that MS walk.
We have changed since after COVID. Like we used to do burgers and pizza and really go all out with hot dogs and snacks, all kinds, and drinks. But because of COVID, we had to be very careful. Mm-hmm. So we really cut down last year. This year, we're still working on what food we'll have, but we always have something. And it's the cause. It's raising funds for the MS Society. Yeah. So,
oh my gosh.
So that's great.
This has been so much fun. I drank all my wine. Oh, I didn't tell you what I was drinking. I think it was Wayne Gretzky, the Baco Noir.
Oh, that's impressive.
Yeah.
You enjoyed it?
Actually, you know what's funny? I have been trying to find the wine, the red wine that they serve on Via One in business class. And I am never able to find it. It's a Gretzky brand. And I think this is it, finally. And also, I won this bottle of wine at an auction. I won 4 bottles, 2 Gretzky's and 2 from Narai, which is a Black-owned vineyard in Niagara, the only one. It's a Black guy. And it was for the Jean Augustine Center for Girls. They had an online.
Oh, sound went out again. Sound went out. But I feel like you can hear me. I don't know if you can hear me. All right. When she comes back, we're going to hear about this Jean Augustine for girls. Let's see what she has to say. Let's make a guess as to the first thing she's going to say when she comes back. There, we can hear you. We can hear you. So continue. Jean Augustine for girls.
It was Jean Augustine Center for Girls. They had an online auction to help support them for International Women's Day. So I saw wine as part of the auctions. I'm like, I'm winning these. So yes, this is one.
I love it. And you did. So you bid on them. It was a silent auction.
Yes.
Okay. Because even if it was a live auction, I could see you saying $100, $100, 150, 150.
You know what? If it's for a good cause, like I think a couple of years ago for my birthday on Facebook, you know, you can link to charities. I did the Jean Augustine Center for Girls as well. It's local and it's a really good program. I try to pick causes that I really want to support. So
yeah, I love that. I love that so much. I love it so much.
So we have had an amazing conversation. Thank you, Gabby, so much for being on today, because I know this is tough for you. And I really appreciate it. And thanks for helping me really celebrate our 10 years and to get everyone to know a little bit more about us, about the business and what we do. And everyone, please make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so that you don't miss any of our Entrepreneur Life series. We're going to do this for the next 6 or 7 weeks for season 3. If you would like to be a guest, make sure you check out our intake form. It's in our description. And please, I hope I see you all at one of our events, because we're in person now. So hopefully I see you all soon. So until next time, I'll catch you. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you, everybody. Happy 10-year anniversary, Dania.
Thank you.